This will fit pretty much any chalice or goblet that you have, even a tiny one. I made this in a way so you can add these little pieces wherever you need to. So you can sew around here and just sew these right into this on the back. I usually go that way, wherever you need. So you can cut the parts, test where you want this to go, and then where you need those little pieces to be in order to get this in and out. For this one, that first spot works the best. Or you can do what I did here, sew everything together, and then just tack these where you want later on, and then you can pull them off, adjust it without having to pull any of these stitches. If you're doing the printed pattern, so you're cutting all your own parts, you can just cut it back to whichever one of these holes that will fit whichever cup you want. But I do suggest just cut all the way back, sew. That way you can always go back and adjust it down the road if you get a different cup. This will probably be the one I use. Fits in there real nice. For this one, I would sew it right here. But you can go, like I showed with this tiny one, all the way up to these real massive ones you get at the Ren fairs. Holds it real nice. Also holds these. These pewter ones are nice because you can get them to hold a lot of liquid. It comes with these two parts, so if you're doing something really small, you'll want to sew one of these into the back right here, the good side facing the same way. That way it looks good when this opens up a little. You can just sew it in as you're sewing it around, or you can just sew this and then tack these on afterwards. That way you can just pull them off and move them around, have a little more customability to this. But for these really small ones, it would be in this first one here. If you have something kind of a medium, you're going to want to go probably right here, or maybe even just one. So you know you can get it in and out of there. But it will fit these really big ones too from the Ren fairs. And hold those. So most of these that you can get are basically one size. So this will fit everything from these tiny little ones to this massive one. But I'll be using one of the two big ones, so I might sew this one in here, but I'll probably skip those on this one. Next, we're just going to fold this in half and sew that on the end there. But before you do that, you can decide on which side you want to show. Do you want the ones with the holes, kind of like a broguing, or do you want... And before you bend this, you can take a look. If it seems like it's real stiff, especially if you dye and seal this with water-based dye, you may need to give it just a little bit of a spray here. Don't go overboard or it's going to soak through and give water spots. Just a little bit. Oh, it's already way better. You can go underneath and skip over that edge so it's coming from under there. I like to just go right over it. I think it looks a little better. Either way is just fine. Just continue around the whole thing. Instead of coming up from the back side, I'll just go down from the front, get them both in the back there. You can just back stitch, tie these knots, or do whatever you want to end your sewing here. But with this, I'll take this one, go right in between there. And this one I'll hop right over in between here. And I can tie a little knot. Always go through twice. You can tap that with a little mallet if you want to flatten it a little, but it's pretty good the way it is.